الرحمن علم القرآن.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to a new video. This is lesson number 6 and it is about the madda letters. Well, mad means to stretch and madda letters are supposed to stretch the sound. There are 3 letters in Arabic alphabets that are called madda letters, and those 3 letters they stretch the sound of the previous letter. For example, here the first letter is ba, so if you have to stretch the sound of ba, you need a madda letter to do that, to stretch that sound for you. So here we have all the 3 madda letters with ba, like here. This is the first madda letter, it is alif. The other madda letter is waw, and the third madda letter is ya. So alif, waw and ya are the 3 madda letters. Now let me tell you how the letters would stretch the sound. So first the alif. So let's just remove this alif and let's read ba only. So if you spell this, it is ba fatha ba. So with these regular signs, I told you before that you don't stretch the sound if you are reading a letter with a regular sign, a regular symbol, like a fatha, dhamma or a kasra. So it's ba fatha ba. That's how you say it. You don't stretch the sound. But the same letter, if you read it with an alif, then the sound would be ba alif fatha ba. So now the sound would be stretched, and it is because of this alif, the madda letter. So without the madda letter it was ba, and with the madda letter it is ba. And same is here. If you read only the first letter, this is bu, like ba dhamma bu. But with the madda letter ba waw dhamma, so now the waw will stretch the sound of the previous letter. Ba waw dhamma bu. So without waw it was bu, and with waw it is bu. And the same is here. It's ba kasra bi. You don't stretch the sound because it's only ba with a kasra. But if you say both the words together, if you read ba with a madda letter ya, then it would be ba ya kasra bi. So ba bu bi. And without the madda letters, the sound would be ba bu bi. So ba bu bi and ba bu bi, that is the difference between reading a letter with and without the madda letters. And now the question is that how do we know that these letters are madda letters? Well, for alif it is very simple, because remember that alif would always be a madda letter. Alif is always a madda letter. But waw and ya are sometimes madda and sometimes not. So it depends on the sign before these 3 letters. So as I said, alif is always a madda letter because it always has this sign before it, a fatha. So this is alif madda because the sign before alif is a fatha. So alif is madda if it has a fatha before it. But alif always has a fatha before it. This is why alif is always a madda letter, because you will never see a kasra or a dhamma before alif. So because alif has always this one sign before it, this is why it is always a madda letter. So there's only one possible sign before alif. But before the rest of the two letters, waw and ya, there are more than one possible signs. So here, the sign before waw sakin, the sign before this waw is a dhamma. So waw sakin is this letter. And sakin letter is the letter which has this sign on it. This sign is basically called sukoon or jazm, whatever you call it. So let's just call it sukoon. So the sign is called sukoon, and the letter which has this sign on it is called a sakin letter. So this one is waw sakin. So waw sakin, if it has a dhamma before it, it is waw madda. So this waw is waw madda. How do we know it is waw madda? Because it has a dhamma before it. So waw can only stretch the sound of the previous letter if the sign before waw sakin is a dhamma. So here this waw can stretch the sound. But as I said, there are more than one possible signs before waw sakin. So the second possible sign before waw sakin is a fatha. So the sign before waw sakin would either be a dhamma or a fatha, like this. So now this is ba waw fatha. Now the sign before waw sakin is not a dhamma, so it's not waw madda, it's not madda letter anymore. So the sign before waw madda, it has to be a dhamma, because now it cannot stretch the sound. Because even if you try to say, and now it is ba waw fatha, bow. So you cannot stretch the sound, like you cannot say bow, because it does not make sense. But if it has a dhamma before it, ba waw dhamma boo, so you can stretch the sound, it does make sense. Ba waw dhamma boo. And the same is here. It's ba ya kasra bi. Ya can stretch the sound because the sign before ya sakin is a kasra. But if the sign before ya sakin is a fatha, then it would be bay. So it won't be possible to stretch the sound if the sign before ya sakin is a fatha, like that. It's ba ya fatha bay. Again, you cannot say bay, because again it does not make sense. So ya can only stretch the sound, ya sakin can only stretch the sound if it has a kasra before it. And waw can only stretch the sound if it has a dhamma before it. And alif can only stretch the sound if it has a fatha before it. So you have to remember that before all the three letters, before all the three madda letters, there are three different signs. The sign before alif madda is a fatha, and the sign before waw madda, it has to be a dhamma, and the sign before ya madda, it has to be a kasra. So three different signs before three different madda letters: alif, waw, and ya, the three madda letters, and fatha, dhamma, and kasra, the three different signs before these three madda letters. The first one we know is alif madda because it has a fatha before it. But alif is always madda because there is only one possible sign before it. This is waw madda. How do we know it is waw madda? Because of this dhamma before waw sakin. This is ya madda. How do we know it is ya madda? Because of that kasra before ya sakin. So the sign before the madda letters tells us whether the letter is madda or not. Okay, so now let's read the rest of the letters. Now here the letter is ta. So now alif, waw, and ya would stretch the sound of ta. It's ta alif fatha ta, ta waw dhamma tu, ta ya kasra ti, ta tu ti. Tha alif fatha tha, tha waw dhamma thu, tha ya kasra thi, tha thu thi. Jim alif fatha ja, jim waw dhamma ju, jim ya kasra ji, ja ju ji. Ha alif fatha ha, ha waw dhamma hu, ha ya kasra hi, ha hu hi. Kha alif fatha kha, kha waw dhamma khu, kha ya kasra khi, kha khu khi. Dal alif fatha da, dal waw dhamma du, dal ya kasra di, da du di. Zal alif fatha dha, zal waw dhamma dhu, zal ya kasra di, dha dhu di. So this is how you spell the letters. Now let's just read the rest of the letters without spelling. So this one is ra, ru, ri, za, zu, zi, sa, su, si. So madda letters are stretching all the three sounds. Sha, shu, shi, swa, su, sui, ba, tu, dui, twa, tu, tui, za, zu, zui, a, u, I. So you have to differentiate between the sound of Hamza and Ain. This is a, u, I, and the sound of Hamza would be a, u, I. So these are two different sounds. This one is a, u, I. That is ra, ru, ri. It's fa, fu, fi, pa, pu, qi. Ka, ku, ki, la, lu, li, ma, mu, mi, na, nu, ni, wa, wu, vi, ha, hu, hi. Now that's Hamza. So here the sound is a, u, I, ya, yu, ji. So this is how you read madda letters. Remember, madda letters are supposed to stretch the sound, and there are three madda letters, alif, waw, and ya. And all the three madda letters, they have three different signs before them. A fatha before alif, a dhamma before waw, and a kasra before ya madda. So that is it for today. We'll see you inshallah in the next video. Till then, take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.